Welcome to the Great American Collectible Show, seen Wednesdays on the Sports Collectors Daily Facebook page and the Great American Collectibles Facebook page. You can also listen to us on iHeartRadio, Pandora, and Spotify. The Great American Collectibles Show is brought to you by the National Sports Collectors Convention and Sports Collectors Daily. Tonight's headlines are brought to you by Sports Collectors Daily. For all your hobby news, features, and more, go to sportscollectorsdaily.com. And now your host, Tom Zappola, and Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rico Petrocelli.
Well, thank you.
Are you going to carry me today?
I'm going to carry you today. I'm going to bring out all my knowledge of this
There you
industry.
go. Welcome to the Great American Collectible Show. Tom Zapp, Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rico Petrocelli. On the screen, Al Crisafulli. We're going to chat with Al. Going to be with us.
And who else is on the screen?
Oh, wait a second.
Oh, okay. See what I don't
This
believe
show is titled Al's Great Adventure.
It is?
It is. And also our good friend Jordan Gilroy from Leland's Auctions.
Yes.
Listen, before we start, a shout out and thanks to John Mallory.
Yeah.
JM did a great job last week.
He is great.
Taking my place. I was traveling. I was on the West Coast. And JM, Paul Borges was in the studio. Danny Wilkin from Memory Lane jumped in. They did a great job. So thank you to you, the three of you.
Yes.
Mallory actually did a good job.
Well, Laurie's good. He's a talented guy. What's the matter with you?
Well, he's got a lot more experience than you and I.
Of course. Well,
I mean, he's done TV. He's done.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
so
actually,
have I.
no, you have.
You have TV, radio, podcasts.
Did you guys know that Rico?
Oh my God, here he goes.
Rico's claim to fame,
Yeah.
in the Boston TV market, was Rico was the host of Candlepins for Cash, the bowling show.
Like bowling for dollars?
Well, it's the same thing.
What the
we
small
called
ball
it Candlepins for Cash. It was the small balls, the candlepins.
Small ball,
And he, didn't you tell me that something fell once when the camera was on you?
No. Oh, yeah, we had side view, right? They put up, who the person was. And then I said, okay, for our next guest, hey, it fell. Well, who is our next guest? So the door opens, here comes the person.
That's funny.
Oh, all kinds of stuff.
All right, so we got a great show today. We're going to talk to Jordan first. Al's with us for the whole hour. Jordan, you guys, you've had a really, really, really busy several months. What do you guys have going on right now?
We have a pop-up that's live right now for the next week and a half. And then we have one of our, 4 big classic auctions opening in about a month. So it's back-to-back auctions right now.
What's on the pop-up? What kind of items are we talking?
Oh, we have an autograph of O.J. Simpson from the day of the infamous murders. He was signed it at the dance recital that he attended right before that, a couple hours earlier.
Wow.
And then we have a program from Doc Ellis's LSD no-hitter.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty interesting. Some autographs, cards, memorabilia, Type 1 photos, a little bit of everything.
Very, very good.
Nice.
Now, when is your first major auction?
June 9th. That's the classic, spring classic.
And how many lots typically in an auction that size?
Typically like 14 to 1,500, but we've been pretty busy. We're almost at like 1,800, and it's a month before the auction. So usually there's more to come in, but yeah, it's a huge auction in a good way.
You've been doing a lot of traveling too, right?
Yeah, a couple states, but the weather is getting a lot better, so it's good.
Get out more.
How much time? How much time do you have in between auctions? Do you have any? Well, I guess to prepare for the next auction. But how long does it usually take?
About a month and a half to 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
The catalog takes a little bit of time, and then you got to get the material between the auctions. So having 4 auctions, a year, and then some pop-ups scattered throughout.
I'm going to ask both you guys this question. I see your catalogs. You guys do a great job at catalogs. Do you guys, Al, I know that you sub some of the writing out, correct, on your catalogs?
Well, we have one writer who we don't really sub it out. I mean, he works for us.
Oh, okay.
I just don't write it myself. It's
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Jordan, what about you guys? What about your catalog?
Yeah, we have people that come in every now and then there's like one guy that's usually in. But yeah, I mean, there with 1,800 lots, there's a lot of stuff to write. So we've been a lot of people in the last couple months.
I've gotta mention something to both of you guys, and it happens regularly. When you guys mail out your catalogs, you mail them out through USPS, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many times I have gotten catalogs from different auction houses, Leland's being one, Log being another, Memory Lane being another, receiving the catalogs well into the auction. Happens a lot. I mean, do you guys get those complaints, or do you hear about that? Yeah.
They have been, one of the senators or House members had a meeting with the post office.
About
general.
that?
Yeah. Why is this taking so long?
Yeah.
Things are taking 2 weeks. Like we send in for the mortgage, let's say.
Yeah.
We get fined.
It's crazy.
Get fined, for late payment. Wait a minute.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
in our case, we actually don't mail the catalog until the auction is open. So that's sort of by design. I don't know how everybody else does it, but we want you to be able to open the book and place a bid. So the auction is open when we.
All right, that makes sense, Sal. But you may be walking a fine line there too, because some people may get it at the very tail end, which I guess is a good thing too. Jordan, how about you guys? Have you ever heard those? I don't want to call them complaints, but that feedback.
Yeah, it happens, and we're kind of in the same boat. We don't, if someone gets the catalog a month early and they want something really badly, we want them to bid instead of forget about it. There are two sides of it. One is like, okay, it builds suspense, but on the other hand, if they go on vacation, they could easily forget about it, and that is the last thing anyone wants. So we like for people to have it right about the time of the opening, and if the mail service is late, then maybe it gets there a couple days or a week late, and I'm sure there are with the amount of catalogs we send out. But yeah, having the catalog delivered during the auction so someone can bid is the idea. Yeah.
Jordan, do you have an auction immediately following the national typically?
Every year is different. Some years it's during the national, so we could bring stuff and have it on display. Sometimes it's after. It just matters what happens throughout the year. But this year, now that we have an auction closing the end of June, we'll probably have one open like the end of August or early September. So we either have an auction during the national, or that's kind of like the consignment deadline, because that's like the biggest deal of the year. So we want people to maximize their consignments one way or the other at that show.
By the way, Rico's going to be there with me. We're going to be doing the show from there, but Rico's also going to be doing a signing on Friday, and he will give a free Petrocelli pen to everybody that comes in and asks for his autograph.
Yeah, everybody needs pens. But I wanted to ask you guys.
Oh.
What about it?
You going to do it?
I'm thinking about it. But I wanted to ask you guys about card shows. Do you have the company go in and have a table at card shows? Or I guess the bigger ones, right? Or do you? That's the question.
We early on in Love of the Game, we used to do every one that we could get to, and when the pandemic happened, it's true. When the pandemic happened, we scaled it way back, and we've been trying to ramp it back up again, because it's not so much that about consignments. It's more about just meeting with customers and friends and things, shaking people's hands, and we don't get. There's not really a substitute for that part of this. We have we are all in the internet business, but at the same time, that personal relationship that you have, there's nothing that takes the place of sitting face to face and talking with a consignor or with a bidder, and so we like to be able to do that. But we're really small, so we only have a handful of employees, and so it's hard to get out to everyone.
Jordan, what about you though? I mean, you do a lot of shows, don't you?
We do a good amount. There are just so many nowadays. It seems like every week there's one in like Dallas and California and Florida. And I don't know. I mean, there are just so many people that go to all of them. We kind of do the more traditional ones that have been around for a long time. We haven't really spread out to these, like modern card extravaganza things.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll do like Boston, we'll do Pittsburgh, the National, Cleveland, kind of our northeast area.
Well, you
I
guys,
think one of the things that's great, Tom, about even the fact that you're asking that question, it wasn't that long ago that in the hobby, the overall vibe was that shows are dead, and shows are going to go away.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it is so great that didn't happen. It's so great that there's more and more shows popping up. Because of that personal thing, and also because if you've been to a show, there's kids, there's so many kids, and at the end of this is a kid's hobby, right? So it's really cool to see kids walking around at shows, and that's really the way it is.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Jordan, before we let you go, do you pick up a lot of consignments at shows, or is it more or less what Al is talking about, more of a meet and greet, get out there, meet the people?
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be people coming in. Sometimes we know people in the area and just have it pre-planned for them to drop the stuff off at the show. But yeah, there are always good walk-ins, and there used to be better ones, but now with so many shows and all these auctions happening every week, it seems there's just a lot more competition than there used to be. So it's not like the old Leland's days where there'd be a line of 30 people. It's a little tougher now, but yeah, there'll be consignments. Just hopefully they're vintage.
Your website address?
Yeah.
Lelands.com.
All right, so they have an auction going right now, the pop-up auction. And when does that end?
It ends not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
Week from Sunday, and keep your eyes open for their big gala, their first gala auction. All right, say hi to Hef for us.
Thanks.
Will do.
Take care.
Good to see you.
Jordan Gilroy from Leland's. He's funny, and I know he can probably still hear me right now, but when I go to Boston and I go see Jordan, he's never there. He's at the food thing. Always.
And you must be there too.
Well, I kind of trickle down.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
they have those foot-long hot dogs, man. All right, let's talk to Al. Al, before we get into Al's great adventure, tell us about your last auction. Were you happy with it?
Yeah, it was a really good one. We had the most bidders we've ever had in an auction, the most bids placed we've ever had in an auction, the most winning bidders that we've ever had in an auction, and we just missed the most dollars that we've ever had.
Really? Good for you.
Second biggest. And so we were really happy with the results. I think there's a lot of people who are ringing the bells, the death knell of the hobby, and how things have fallen off so much. We're not seeing it, and
that's pretty good.
There has been a softening in some of the more common stuff, but the kind of stuff that we like to sell is still going strong.
That funky memorabilia, baby.
I'm telling you, it's great. I mean, not only for collecting, you love the certain card players and all that, but in my mind, because I think of it too as an investment too. Well, maybe this card, I love this card. Yeah. But maybe 5 years from now, it's going to be worth more. So if I wanted to sell, I need money, So it's great.
It's always good to know. Look, from my standpoint, the hobby is a hobby. That's how I approach it as a collector. A thing that I'd like to add to my collection, But I'm not really thinking of it in terms of is it going to appreciate or is it going to, what's going to happen to the value. But there is a part of me that knows that, someday
Call me a liar for 30 seconds.
I'm not going to be here anymore. And when that happens, I didn't waste this money. It's good to know that.
Definitely. Interesting. All right. It is time, and now this is one of the highlights of the show. It's time for our segment On Deck with Rico.
Oh.
brought to us
exciting.
by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions.
Yeah, Brian's
Don't
great.
forget to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service.
He answered the tough questions. On that good Richard Patricelli.
Okay,
Tough questions.
this was submitted by Bill
Yes.
Tynan.
Tynan, huh?
I think that's, how do you pronounce that? Tinian or Tynan?
Tinian. Let me see. Yeah, Tinian.
Tinian. Bill Tinian.
Tinion.
Rico,
Yeah.
what was the clubhouse reaction when a popular player on the team got traded?
Ooh, wow. This is inside stuff. Should I say it?
Oh, I'd like you to.
Well, when we had a real popular guy like Tony Canigliaro and actually some of the other Louis Aparicio we mentioned was with us 2 years, and they released him. So what most of us did, we went in and kicked the crap out of the the manager.
You beat him up.
Yeah,
You beat
we
him
smacked him around. Like, what's going on? Then we went up to the general manager.
Killed him.
Oh, just
No, but what would happen? Would you guys be down? Would
Yeah. It's especially when you come up with players like 4 or 5, whatever it is, and then guys start going. It's like a family, you know.
Right. Did Tony
sad.
know?
You're very sad.
Did Tony anticipate getting traded?
No, that was a shocker. He just hit 35 home runs, 118 RBI, something like that, and he was traded. Wow. We were shocked.
Did you guys get to say goodbye to him?
Because
usually they put you right on the
I
plane.
saw him in the offseason.
Right? Usually they put you right on the plane.
No, but they traded him in the offseason.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
That's-
So anyway, yeah, we just kicked the crap out of him. The manager, smack him around a little bit. Say,
All right, so I'm
what
gonna-
was your decision? Hey, no, I'm serious.
Go ahead. I'm going to add on to his question.
Kidding.
You're playing for 13 years,
Yeah,
and you go into spring training, and they release you.
yeah, that's what happened.
Right, but hear me out. What was the reaction of? I mean, you were like a
Yeah,
you
it
were a
was,
staple there.
yeah,
What was the reaction of the players?
They were sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the guys that I've been with for a long
Yaz
time.
and-
Yeah, and even the manager, Don Zimmer, he felt bad, but it was a decision by all the front office and all that. There was time. Butch Hobson was ready at third base, and I understood that. It's part of the game. And I called other teams to see if they were
Interesting.
needed anybody, but they had their rosters set at the end.
So that was kind of bad timing. You would have better off being released at the end of the season.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, or the beginning of spring training.
So do you think you could have? Did you have another good season left in you? You think?
Yeah, I think so. I think I could have helped the club for a couple of seasons, and I told that to the Red Sox. I said, Butch is going to be there. I could still play short, help out, play second base, and if something happens, give him a rest. I can go in there and do a decent job. But they said that no, they didn't want to have me around, and Butch would think about me.
Well, I
being
mean,
on his shoulders.
correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't know if you know this, Sal, but that first season. Wasn't that the year that he had the chips in his elbow and he was throwing
49 errors, I think.
49 errors,
something like
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
no, I mean that's because.
But it was because he had.
He's a
both
hell of
chips.
a player.
All right,
Anyway.
let's go. That's
let's get back.
good insight there. Good
thank you.
insight.
Thank you.
Al. So when did you plan this? We're going to get into this more after but when did you plan the road trip?
I'm always planning them. I go out, again, before while the pandemic was at its worst, I didn't do it very often, but I go out a couple times a year, but in this case, I hadn't been to the Pacific Northwest since before the pandemic, and I hadn't been to the Southwest in a year. And so I had planned on doing 2. And then my wife said, why are you going? Because I drive. And she said, why are you going out and then coming back? And I said, well, because, that's a long time to be away. I'm going to miss you. And she said, oh, I'll come out and meet you somewhere. I'll fly out and meet you somewhere.
Good.
So I planned the appointment. I planned the trip. And then she said, yeah, I'm not going. So
All right, so
Yeah.
what were your stop points?
All right.
Listen
so
to
I
this. Listen, he drove this.
He drove.
Winston-Salem, Albuquerque, Scottsdale, Arizona, 29 Palms, California, Los Angeles, San Jose, Southern Oregon, Portland, Seattle, Vancouver, Idaho, Denver, Moab, Utah, Denver, which I canceled, St. Louis, Louisville, and home.
All right, we're going to take a break.
Holy jeez.
When we come back, I want to know how much you spent on gas. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
All right.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Let's go! Batter up!
Hi, everyone. This is Rico Petrocelli. JustCollect.com, a leader in the vintage sports card industry, is giving free appraisals on your vintage cards. They'll evaluate your collection for free and let you know the value of it at no cost and no obligation. If you're ready to sell, JustCollect.com will offer you industry-leading prices to buy your card collection. To begin your free baseball card appraisal, visit JustCollect.com or call them at 732-828-2261. That's JustCollect.com for your free vintage card appraisals and top buy prices for your cards. Check out JustCollect.com today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
With record-breaking sales from everything from the white border T206 Honus Wagner for $3.12 million to some great items that support the Jackie Robinson Foundation, Golden Auctions has set the highest standards for the finest in sports cards, autographs, and game-used memorabilia. We're always accepting consignments of high-end premium sports treasures or entire collections. Please register for our next auction and bid now at goldenauctions.com. That's golden with an I. We at Golden Auctions are committed to providing unsurpassed customer service for the discriminating collector. That's exactly why we're the leader in the industry. Visit goldenauctions.com or call 856-767-8550. Remember, Golden Auctions. We don't just break records, we shatter them.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back. And before we get back to Big Al, it is time for a Gax Blast from the Past. Now, Al, you're not going to be able to see the video right now, but when you see it tomorrow night, you'll be able to see it. You're only going to hear the audio.
You've been gacked, Al.
You know,
should I go to a doctor?
You know, I don't know why you don't like that title.
Gax.
Gax. A Gax Great American Collectibles Show.
Ooh, I got a gack.
Take some penicillin.
Get some ointment for my gack.
All right. So this...
Come on.
The Gax Blast from the Past is brought to us each week by our good friend Paul Borges and PB Collectibles, your neighborhood card shop. Go to pbcollectibles.com to find that special card or piece of memorabilia. This week's Gax from the Blast Past, whatever the hell it's called, Great Rico Moments.
Me? I thought you were going to do a...
Well, yeah, this Great Rico Moments. Take a look.
Hughes comes back for his second shot at the Red Sox. Rico Petrocelli steps to the plate in the Boston second with 2 away. And Petrocelli connects solidly. It's up, over the fence, and into the screen for a home run.
Exciting narrator.
Really?
Rico
really
jogs around the bases to the welcome of his teammates.
Yeah, welcome.
Rico Petrocelli is back at the plate. And Rico slams the ball to left center. It's in the netting for the 3rd homer of the inning, a new World Series record. The short left field fence is called the Green Monster.
Short.
Today, it's anything but that for the Red Sox.
Drive to left field. And it is gone for a home run.
Kenny Cole?
Yeah, now he was a pro. Vicar, that's 4 home runs you've hit.
Well, that's not...
I love your stride.
Thank you. The thin, boy. I wish I was that thin.
You're looking at the base runners.
What is
Hobart, the pinch runner, at first. Petrocelli to Schofield. It's a double play.
Ducky Schofield.
Ducky, yeah.
4-3 double play. Turned off, and that's all in the 8th inning.
Yes, his 13th. Deep to left. And gone.
Gee, don't get too excited. Oh, jeez. Yeah.
That's 4 home runs, Al. 4 home runs he's hit.
What is this?
Last one.
Well stroked towards center field. That's going to be way out there for extra bases.
Center field.
Yastrzemski walks home. Petrocelli's going to go for 3.
Boy,
I was
hoping the coach was holding me up at second. Boy, I think.
All right.
8-2.
That's great. You know, it just showed a little of everything. You're fielding.
Yeah,
you're hitting. All that good stuff. Good stuff.
I wish
Hey,
I
Al.
could see it.
Oh, yeah. You'll see it tomorrow night. Yeah, you'll see it tomorrow night. Hey, Al, I wanted to ask you this question. How many lots typically do you have in an auction?
So I like to have, depending on the auction, between 900 and 1,200. last auction we had 1,500, and that was a little much.
Really?
Yeah, I like to be able to give most of the lots some kind of marketing attention. Now, in the last auction, we had two high grade sets that we broke up. Right. So we had a lot of 1975 singles and 1963 singles, high grade singles. So technically we had 1,500 lots, but really you're talking about 200, or so cards from the same set.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it's not, the same as if I had 1,500 wildly different lots.
Well, the reason I'm asking is before we went on the air, I told you I participated in a local auction, a couple of towns over, and this auctioneer, he's very, very, very good, and he's got a tremendous business, but not in sports memorabilia, in fine art, real estate, but. Right. He did it was a sports memorabilia auction. I think it was about 600 or 800 lots, 600 lots. And I was really impressed. It was a webcast. So what you could do is the week prior, you could put a bid in via the internet. And then when the auction started, you clicked onto the webcast. He's there doing the auction live. But in front of you, you have a button. So he starts the bidding at whatever the high internet bid was. But if you wanted to bid, so it was just amazing the way they did it. And so he would talk about a card. He said the bidding is at $500 right now. It's an internet bid. And there were people on the floor also. So if someone raised their hand to make a bid, he'd say, okay, it's at $150 now. But if I wanted to bid $175, it said swipe here for $175. Boom. It was unbelievable. It was really, really, they did a nice job. I had never seen that before. Anyways, let's talk about the trip. All right. So you were there how long were you gone? 2 weeks?
23 days and change.
Were you happy with the results, number one?
I was thrilled with the results. I rented an SUV. And I emptied it 3 times on the trip. I had to pack everything up and ship it back, and so in that respect, it was great. There's a lot of people that I hadn't seen in a long time, so I got to, visit with longtime consigners and longtime customers, and so from that perspective, it was great.
Awesome.
When you do you. When you're having an auction, do you blast the internet and to tell your customers? And then how do people who have not been customers get to find out about your auction?
So there's a lot of different ways. We do a lot of advertising inside and outside the hobby. We do a lot of direct marketing to our customers. We advertise on in a number of different hobby publications and things like that. So one thing that we find is that collectors they're like detectives. They're always out there trying to find stuff, So a lot of times you get the auction up and running, and people need something or want something that you have. They find you, and so it's sort of a combination of things.
Yeah.
On the trip, Al, let's talk about your food intake.
Can you tell?
Well, I mean, did you stop at like In-N-Out Burger, or did you stop at a hotel and have a nice dinner?
So it depends. A lot of time. I mean, there's no question that there's nothing you can do to avoid having to sometimes stop at a crummy fast food joint and eat. And so you kind of get to be, when you do this a lot, you kind of get to be an authority on what are the best, fast food joints in the country. But I think, I like to try and stop and have some fruit or, vegetables when I can. If I'm staying in a place for more than a day, I like to get an Airbnb and then actually go to a grocery store and buy actual groceries and make food,
So you didn't sleep in your car?
I did that too, yeah.
How many times?
More than I care to admit. When you plan these trips out, I like to try and explain this. You can do the best job of planning. You know, I'm going to be here on Tuesday. I'm going to be there on Wednesday. Be there on Thursday. One traffic jam messes that whole thing.
That's a good point.
And you know, when you're talking about 8,000 miles or 9,000 miles, which is what I just did, you know, one thing can mess you up for days. So, so if you're experienced at this, you're planning 3 or 4 days and then a couple of days in a place, and then 3 or 4 days and then a couple of days in a place, so that you have that you know, it's okay if I go over on this trip. You also want to be able to build in time. If you see something cool, you know, you want to go look at it, right? You want to go see whatever it is that you're seeing, you know. So, but once in a while, what happens is you get a little tired on the road, you know, and depending on what time it is, you know, you got to stop. I can tell you that coming back, I went from Seattle to Moab, Utah in basically one shot. And that's a long shot. And it wasn't supposed to work out that way, but I had to be in Moab on Friday to work with the home office to finalize all the last consignor checks. So I needed to be there.
Oh, right. Okay.
Thursday. So I left on Wednesday and I had to be there Thursday, and things got a little trafficky. So a couple of times when that happens, I just, you know, I'm driving, and then I just say, okay, that's enough. And if it's 3 a.m,
yeah,
you can't really check into a hotel.
No, that makes good sense. It makes good sense.
So I sleep in a truck stop parking lot for a couple hours.
Your biggest cost must have been your biggest cost for that trip. Gas?
Gas and hotels, you know, places to stay. You know, gas is expensive, especially, I mean, out here, we've got it made. We're $3. You get to California, it's $5 a gallon.
Yeah, it was like $5.39 in San Francisco. Wow. It was crazy last week.
That's a lot.
Al, can you kind of tease us with some of the consignments you did pick up?
Just got great stuff, just tons of great stuff. So we got, you know, probably my favorite thing that we got is a really nice Paul Thompson photo of Babe Ruth from, I think it's 1921. That's kind of a legendary photo, and I'm really excited about that one. But we picked up a lot of Type 1 photos, couple of Babe Ruths, some great old judges, which I'm really excited about. A nice old Judge Delahanty, an N173 Cap Anson, which I'm very excited about. A lot of sets. You know, a lot of display materials. I mean, this is one of the things, if you got a big vehicle and you're going from place to place, somebody's got a big panoramic photo that they don't want to ship, you know, you can take it along with you. So I've got a lot of that kind of stuff, you know, larger memorabilia. And so it's going to be a pretty special auction.
You're going to spread it all out, I'm assuming, or is it all going to be?
It's all coming in the next auction.
Wow.
As much as we can get going, we're going to do.
Would you do it again?
I do it all the time. I can't wait to do it again. Yeah. I do it at least once a year.
Why don't you listen to me. Next time you do it, you take Rico with you.
You want to go, Rico? We can go hang out in the desert.
Yeah, and then if something, God forbid, happens to him,
or shoot rattlesnakes.
No, if something happens to him,
I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
What's different about this one than last one, and all of the other ones, because I've done this probably 12 or 14 times. I've been doing this since 2000. I think the first one I did was 2014. Right. What's different is that now we have in the office, we have Evelyn, who is our imaging specialist, and she is putting together social media posts, you know, videos of things as I go.
I loved them. I loved
Oh, you saw
videos of him while he's driving and he's talking.
Yeah,
that was great.
I mean, they've been great. Yeah, and you know, I've never been able to do that before. So now. You know, Evelyn is a talent at that stuff.
I was very impressed.
People been able to follow along. Yeah,
I was very impressed. Great. But I think you should consider taking Rico with you sometime. And God forbid, if something happens to him,
what you're saying.
You put him on your roof, like Imogene Coca in Family Vacation. If something happens to him, you just tie him
up there.
Put him on the roof, right?
Well, I'd rather
wrap him in a rug.
There you go.
Rather be tied to the back and
run alongside.
I went from Seattle one time because my wife's from Seattle to New York, right? Alone, and I went down towards Utah and everything, And after the second day, it took about 4 or 5 days. The lines in the road.
They were looked up like they were double.
Yeah, with double, and all of a sudden I'm talking to the guy on the DJs on the radio. What do you know? Are you crazy? Yeah. That's awesome.
I sing like an idiot. Yeah,
by the way, we'll talk about the music. By the way, for our viewers, I know I'm kind of moving around a little bit. I'm still having some back issues, so
knee.
So I'm kind of stretching when I can. I should be standing, but I told Chrissy.
You should a little bit.
No, I'm fine.
All right. I'm worried about
I just wanted to bring it.
Guy his age, Al, is
stop it. Will you please?
No, things start to go.
Oh, yeah. What about the music? Let's talk about the music.
Okay.
What was your genre of music on your trip?
Oh, it's all over the place on this trip. I really was.
Did you have listen to the radio, or did you have a?
No, I hate the radio.
Yeah, so do I.
There's nothing on the radio for me. It's satellite radio is okay. There's places where I can sit for a while on satellite radio, but mostly, I'll pick out what I'm going to do, what I'm going to listen to that day. I'll kind of have a mental list of what is the vibe like and whatever. I'll go along with that. I think probably the record that I listened to the most on this trip was the new one by Rosalie. Rosalie is like a she's kind of an indie singer-songwriter that plays with a band, David Nance band, which is he's an excellent guitar player, I think, and they've got a new record out that's called Bite Down, and that just came out, and I love that, and I listened to that a ton on this trip.
Have you ever? I think I mentioned this to you before. Teddy Swims. Have you ever heard? Check him out. You would like him. He's an indie guy. Okay. Teddy Swims.
Right. SWI. Come up with these names.
That's his name.
Oh, it's his name.
Yeah, that's his real name.
I thought Teddy. It meant he swim.
Well, his last name is Swim.
But I get a lot of when I'm going through the desert, which is really my favorite part of the country. Is when I'm out in the Southwest and I get into this sort of ambient kind of country stuff, like a band called Suss. SUSS, and another Sea Wind of Battery is another one that I like a lot. That's just kind of a mellow, sort of chill thing, and I really enjoy that as well. So I spent a lot of time with that stuff.
So you make sure you don't fall asleep. I mean, from this.
Well, that'll put you to sleep.
Well, that's what I mean. Out. You know what I'm saying?
See, when we used to drive, we used to do the same thing. In my playlist, we do an hour listening to. The Allman Brothers, and then do another hour listening to Billy Joel, and then do another hour listening to dinner jazz. You know what I mean? Just to mix it up.
Yeah.
The only thing I never listened to because I would fall asleep, and I love it, was classical music. I can't listen to classical music when I'm driving.
It's not really for me. When I'm starting to fall asleep, it's all about old school hip hop.
Oh,
that's
very cool.
That's where I go. Old school hip hop and like vintage punk.
Yeah, I wasn't a punk guy. All right, listen, we got to take a break. Al is in the house. We got one more segment. Hang in there. We'll be right back, and Leighton is going to join us. The Phantom is going to join us. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business. you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on the tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden Auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
Yes, it's Petroselli Marketing. Let me give you the free number. It's 800-860-4623. Mike has got clients all over the country, so he can do the job for you if you're elsewhere. Well, listen, Tom, I wanted to talk to you and our people out there. Don't stop.
I didn't say a word.
I want to tell you about our friend Tom Ruggi and the staff at Destiny Wealth Management. Folks, if you're a card or memorabilia collector, have you ever thought about how to manage your collection long term? Well, I certainly have. I look at my personal collection, and through the advice and expertise of Tom Ruggie, have learned that you need a professional to help categorize, evaluate, and eventually put a liquidation plan together with dealers or auctioneers if you or your family decides to sell your collection. Most importantly, you need to be aware of the tax ramifications when you liquidate. Although Zapp and JM have begged me to include them when it comes time to depart with my 40th home run ball or my 67 World Series glove, I'm going to Tom Ruggie and Wealth Management Group. And don't forget, Ruggie Wealth Management will also handle all of your investment needs. That's Ruggie Wealth Management, the go-to company to manage your collectible decisions.
I still think you should leave your stuff to me, but we won't go down that road. The Phantom is with us. We can see the Phantom.
Hey.
The Phantom has joined us. We should kind of genuflect.
Phantom of the Opera.
Leighton Sheldon,
Phantom
Vintage Breaks, Just Collect. You guys know each other, right?
Nah.
Yeah.
How are you? What's happening, Leighton?
All right. First of all, I'm Tom Zappala. This is Rico Petroselli. I don't know if you know us, but I know we've spoken a couple of times. How you doing, brother?
Excellent. How are you?
Good. Business is good. I can see business is very good. But listen, a couple of things. You've got some great set breaks that I went online. Tell us about the 71 Fleer basketball set. What is that? How's that break going? That's the one with Chamberlain and Russell, and tell us about that. I love that set.
And Jerry West too, right?
61.
Hold on. Is he breaking? He's breaking up. Go ahead.
Breaking up is hard to do.
Talk again, Leighton. I'm sorry, you were breaking up.
Sure. The set from Fleer you're talking about is from 1961.
Right. And that set is right now. People can they can go online, and that set is open right now. Correct?
Yes. So that set, along with about 24 other sets, on our website at vintagebreaks.com. And for those that may not know what a set break is, but you're more familiar with breaking and the idea of opening up packs and boxes, kind of looking for your favorite card. So we've kind of brought that to set breaks. And the way that a set break works is, for example, 1961 Fleer basketball has 66 cards in it. So we sell a spot. One spot equals one card. So if you want to get more chances, i.e. more cards in the set, maybe you buy 3 cards, which is 3 spots. And so each spot will represent one card at random. And after every card is sold out in that respective set break, we then random it off for you to watch live on our stream on youtube.com/vintagebreaks, which we do 7 days a week. That stream will then show you, after we randomize the list, which card or cards that you got in that particular set break. And so what's really fun for collectors is, for example, in 1961 Fleer, you might get a common, but you know that someone's going to get the Wilt Chamberlain rookie. And that's become a popular way of breaking for us.
So, and the buy-in depends on what the set is, correct? The prices vary.
Exactly. For example, we have a 1952 Topps near set breakup, and many folks have asked me, what is a near set? So we've actually done an entire set break of 1952 Topps baseball cards before, but what we figured out based on the numbers is that the high numbers, of course, add a lot of expense to the set, but the card that really, really covets is the number 311 Mickey Mantle. So this is the first time we've ever offered a 1952 Topps near set break, not the full set. And so that set includes every card 1 through 310. And as everyone knows in the hobby, the high numbers are 311 to 407. So we didn't include those with the exception of one really important one, that being Mickey Mantle. So for the price of $250, and we're almost sold out with about 40 spots left. And as soon as that sells out, we will do the random. So for the price of $250, someone's going to win a $30,000 Mickey Mantle 1952 Topps. And that's
cool.
Really, that's the appeal of a set break, is you're guaranteed that hit or hits will be in the break, versus like if you open up a pack or boxes or a case, there's no guarantee of what's necessarily going to be in that product.
But at the National, what the experience I had, I tell you, it was the greatest thing.
Do you know how many views that thing has gotten? On
Tens
YouTube?
of thousands.
Tens of thousands of views on YouTube.
Mickey
Unbelievable.
Mantle, wow.
That was a 55 Bowman.
55 Bowman, yeah.
Hey, Leighton, I noticed you have a 67 Topps rack pack, right, of the Red Sox.
Red Sox.
Is Petrocelli must be in there, right?
No.
Well, it's possible, and I think it's $495 a spot. For $495, Rico, you could find out. But similar to the way I'm describing a step break, a pack break is analogous in that there's a certain amount of spots. So in the 1967, there's 36. We're about half sold out. So if you buy one spot, that will equal one card. What makes that rack pack really special, on top of the fact it's from 1967, is it's known as the Mickey Mantle series. So it's the second series, and it's the series in which you could potentially pull a Mickey Mantle card right out of the pack. And of course, get one, you hope that it's going to be well centered and in great condition and might grade high.
Very cool, very cool. We're chatting with Leighton Sheldon from Vintage Breaks and Just Collect. Leighton, you said, I know you're streaming 7 days a week. I'm sure you spread the wealth. How often are you on
he himself?
On camera, yourself?
Not that much, other than for the podcast. Our big event ended on Sunday, so I was on for a little bit then. Just between running a few companies and life and having a 9-year-old son, it kind of precludes me from being on as much as I'd like. But hey, anytime Rico wants to do a break with me live, I'd love to.
You should do that. You should do that.
Sure, I'll do
absolutely.
it. 50,000.
So I want to ask. I'm going to ask both of you guys this question. Al, you first. Al, yeah, you give a discount. Al, you first. Are you seeing a slowdown in baseball cards as far as what people are looking for? Are people looking for still the real vintage stuff, or is this modern and ultra modern really taking over?
I can't really speak to the modern and ultra modern market. I just don't know anything about it really, and we don't really do much in that area. In the vintage market, it seems to me that the quality material is still doing very well. Rare material is still doing very well, and there may be a softening in some of the more common stuff, the stuff you see more frequently, but it's still. We're talking about softening. I mean, everything is relative, and this softening, we're still much, much higher than we ever were. And so is the market weak right now compared to what? Compared to 2019? No. Compared to the spring of 2022, maybe in some cases.
Leighton?
What was the question again?
He knows the question.
No, I know the question. So
I didn't.
Sort of what Al just said about modern, I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy to ask about the modern card market. And as far as vintage cards go, I will tell you this. I agree with Al. The best stuff continues to perform very well. I do think that versus 10 years ago, for the stuff that isn't the best of the best, the difference between now and 10 years ago, which I think is great for everyone in the market, meaning collectors and dealers, investors, there is a lot more liquidity. So you could consign to an auction house that has a catalog like REA or Heritage or SCP or Memory Lane. You can
love the game. I love the game.
Sorry. Oh my God, Al, that's terrible. At least you guys brought it up versus having Love of the Game as well. And by the way, I bid in Love of the Game, and it's a great auction, and particularly it's great for vintage. But obviously, I will not live that down, Al. I owe you at least.
I figure if you're going to name them all, you might as well name mine.
But anyway, there's eBay consignment houses, right? There's folks like me, Al, that just buy and sell. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is, and I agree with you, Al, that you're right, the best of the best will continue to perform well. But I think for the rest of the market, what's really great is there's a lot more people who are involved. So unlike, let's say, 10 years ago, if you left a convention 10 years ago and you had stuff that you wanted to sell, it wasn't that easy to figure out what to do. It is much easier for a collector, a dealer, and an investor, a hybrid to now deal with their material. And so similar to what Al is saying, I agree that the other stuff might have fallen off a little bit, but it's still liquid. And I think that's really important to recognize.
Very good point.
Didn't always used to be like that.
Good point. Leighton, your website address.
Sure. So you could check out our breaking company, vintagebreaks.com. And for our other company, Just Collect, you can check us out at justcollect.com. We have a free appraisal form on there. But to me, The coolest part of the website really is the fact that over the last 20 years, I bought and sold a lot of collections. And of those, hundreds of those stories and videos, I've shared that on our blog at blog.justcollect.com. Check it out if you get a chance.
Al, your website address?
Loveofthegameauctions.com.
And when's your next big one?
Next big one's in September. We're going to have a small set builder auction in June, July. But we're still working on consignments for our summer auction. So you can reach out to me at info@loveofthegameauctions.com.
Gentlemen, as always, it's a pleasure.
Great.
Leighton, it's really good to see you again. All kidding aside, man.
Yeah.
We kind of miss
See
you.
you, Leighton.
We know you're busy, but keep in touch. And we'll see you guys at the National.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Al, looking forward to seeing you at the National.
You too.
I'll see you there as well.
Yeah,
okay, guys.
Awesome.
To our viewers and listeners,
Thanks,
we hope you
guys.
enjoyed the show. Rick, I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
All right. Hope you feel better.
I am. I will be. Happy collecting.
Take care, guys.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.